You.
Okay. Can I tell you guys when I'm watching this movie, I was yelling at my TV. This movie is so good. I'm like, oh, I'm so excited to talk to you guys. So, right out the gate, the opening sequence feels like you're dropped into like a first person shooter game. It's just like so chaotic. And I wanted to know what was the stunt training like for this? And how much of it was you guys versus the stunt doubles? And I'm going to be so real, especially with the jujitsu moves. Did you have training coming into this?
So, thank you so much, CJ. We're so excited to talk to you, and thank you for loving the film. We got about roughly just over 2 weeks to find to get into fight mode. So to find how characters would fight and work with the stunt team with the fight choreography, etc. So no, those were all beautifully choreographed fights and thoughtfully, I would say, choreographed fights by Danica, who was our fight choreographer. And yeah, so I had to learn how to fight from scratch. So we had 2 weeks to learn tactical weapons training and how our characters would fight. It was brutal, but it was epic. Yeah.
Mm, mm. She's she's a beast, my friend. If you because you know she goes all the way through. So we have our individual fights, but she did all of that. It was yeah. You've seen it, my friend.
Oh,
Like it's
it's
insane.
crazy. Sorry, I just realized I didn't answer part of your question, which is which parts did I do? And yes, I had a stunt double named Leanne Mullen, but she did my hard crashes. So all the like flying through the air and stuff, that was her. But the fight choreography, I did. And I was like a dog with a bone. Once they were like, this is what's happening. I was like, yeah. Even when I was tired and she's like, you want to tag me in? I was like, no, my character is tired. I'm gonna do it again. So I did it. Yeah. And it felt it just added, I think, to the honesty of how I really was feeling performing it.
That's so incredible. Both so your sequence though, both of y'all sequence together. Okay, I must know because Sergey is like the brother that kind of stays out the way. Like he's there, but he's not like in the
Yeah,
trenches.
he's
And
not
then
in.
it was like a switch went off when your brother and you are like confronting each other, and then you guys have that powerful sequence. Um, how did you tap into that, Anthony? And then Danica, what was that like with you guys trying to figure out how intense you should go with that? Because I mean, you see the fear in Anthony when he is trying to approach you, and then out of nowhere, he's like, "Nah, screw this! Like I'm going full in."
So, do you want to go first, Anthony?
No, go, my dear. Go, go.
Oh, okay. So, funny enough, Anthony and I are actually friends in real life. Like, he's a buddy. And what was so interesting about this was, whew, that fight scene had so many different terrain, three different terrains. And then there was an element of fire. So it was water and fire plus this terrain. And when we were rehearsing it already, we started to feel, okay, my friend, this we gonna push. But there was this mutual respect and understanding that we have beyond that moment. And so we were like, balls to the wall, let's go. And we really made that pact with each other. There was a part where I needed a moment. We needed to separate when he was drowning me. They needed to separate us because I was getting up ready to, because I couldn't break, because that holding your breath, it does something to you. And then the DOP has a picture of us holding hands with our little heads on each other, like comforting each other in between. But yeah, it was that mutual respect and understanding that our characters are living this. And then we return to that love and respect that we have for each other. Yeah.
No, it was tapping it, that part that you talk about tapping in, because for the character of Sergey, as you said, he doesn't want to be there. So when he when the switch flips, it's about his rage against it. It's not even directed at Jessica. It's directed at the fact he doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to do this. So if he's gonna get out of the way, he's gonna fucking kill her, and it will be done. It will be over, and he will be free from that space because it's the expectation of his brother. It's the history of their lives as soldiers. Do you know what I mean? Because as characters, we all create backstories, and for me, my character, particularly Sergei, he was a kid soldier. He's been doing it all his bloody life, and he wants out. He doesn't want to be there. He and it's frustration. It's frustration that boils over and eventually takes him all the way over the edge. And that's what it's like in life sometimes. You know what I mean? For a lot of us as human beings, we are, let's say, stratified, cultural, traditional things that we're told is where we should be and what we should be doing. And necessarily, we're not 100% bought in. So we feel the pressure. And Danica's right because, sorry, Danica is right because also there was that moment for both of us where we're in character and because you're in it and you're doing it and we're both giving 110%, the red mist sets in as well because it's happened really in the moment, living that moment of the violence between the two characters. So we had to take a moment just like decompress, step away and come back together and make sure that we know we're all right as people, as human beings, as friends, as
And
partners on
safe.
screen. Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
No, it was really intense, and I actually wanted to ask both of you too. Mentally, you could see the toll from the start to finish. Can you talk about when you guys wrap, even if it's for the day? What is something that kind of brings you back grounded? Because I can't imagine that this was an easy movie to just like, okay, cool, I'll see you tomorrow.
My
It,
bed. My bed. My bed was my Jesus. I went there and I prayed at his altar and I said, hold me. Hold me until the morning comes and make sure my call time's not too early. Yeah. No.
um, Yeah, I think for me I had to. I think walking into it, I already made, I keep using the word pact, but I made a pact with myself that on
Mhm.
this set, this body, it belongs to Jessica. And then it returns to me, and then I go home as me. And even though, yes, there were days that it was really hard, it was emotional. That I had to just accept that that was how I was going to experience the character. But my husband and son were so, so supportive. My husband knew there needs to be chocolate and tea as I get home, even if I'm getting home at 5 o'clock in the morning because we've shot through the night, he would be there with chocolate and tea to be like, you're home. So now you can rest and wake up, and then you go and you Jessica Brok again. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Do you
well,
remember?
I it's appreciated. Oh, what was that?
No, I was saying there was a scene me and Danica shot in the bathtub where she gets me out and she drowns me. But what happened in that scene was there was what was it happened? There was an allergy. The milk in
You,
the
he has an allergy to milk, and they put milk into the water to make it look soapy. So as we're busy dunking him, he starts welting. He's like,
True.
guys, is it just me? He was like, and he's like, wait, is there what is in this water? And they're like, milk. And he's like, I'm allergic. Everyone's like, ah. So even in scenes where it was like, yeah, we're just gonna, there was always this unexpected element that would just reveal itself.
Dude.
You're
Yeah.
really that fear in that scene was real, basically. I'm like, oh, great acting. Oh, that was he really is having a shock right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is something there. Oh my gosh, this movie is just so good. I felt like I was watching like Black GI Jane. Like it was so great. These characters they carry so much pain, and Jessica has so much like rage in her, and Sergey also has grief and he has like a misplaced duty. How do you sit in that space when you guys are prepping for this and not getting lost in it? I know when you go home you have your rituals, but like I can't imagine that getting into the headspace emotionally for this was easy.
Hmm.
Mm,
Uh,
may I?
go, please.
I think I won't speak for Danica, but I think for me, in terms of the process of the character, it's that building block work you do before you get there. You think about it, the character's history, choices made, reasons why things happen. Because when people say, "If I was in that situation, I'd do this." That's a crock of shit, guys. Until you are in the situation, you don't know what you're going to do. So for me, it was always trying to find a place of reacting emotionally to what the character was dealing with in terms of the death of his brother, then also the dominance of his older brother, always trying to, tag him along and being pulled in many directions at the same time. And I think it's always indicative of the middle child, if that makes any sense. And me being the older brother in my family, I've watched my middle brother and the struggles he's had in terms of finding his space and doing what he wants to do and being who he wants to be. So I think I definitely drew on a lot of that observation and then putting myself in that space and working from there and then just obviously reacting off of my co-stars and our lead Danica in terms of what she then brought to the space and how we performed. For me, that was the process. Is you have to go to a place of, I think, honesty with yourself. And like she said, she gave up. She's like, this is Jessica Brok's body when I land.
Hmm. Um, for me, what was so interesting about this process is I had structured in my mind that she was going to be how I saw action heroes, which was like your Sarah Connor, your Tomb Raider, Lara Croft, and she wasn't because I was experiencing her in the body very differently. The fight scenes were very different. The intensity of them and that terrain, it wasn't controlled like in a studio or, and so it was almost like that sort of got me to the point of really feeling her, like feeling exactly what she was going through. And then also I had a fear. I had a fear as Danica, stepping up to meet this character. But then I imagined what is the fear? I'm a mother. I cannot tell you, if something like this happened to my child, that fear. And so it was tapping into this thing that would be the worst thing for me as a mother, the worst thing, and moving with that fear and not pushing it aside, not apologizing for it, moving with it. And I think in moving with it, I was honest. So my reactions and my responses were honest because I really was scared, because she really was scared, you know? And that's kind of how I accessed it, I
Can
think.
I, you know
Yeah,
what, the
my
references, sorry, the references of characters you just used in terms of, do you know what I've really realized? You've seen Aliens, an alien, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, you and Sigourney,
yeah,
Ripley, yeah, no, because yeah, when I
yeah.
think about it, like that, the emotional arcs that you went through, very much, very, very, yeah, yeah, dude, you bossed it. You bossed it, Beast.
You
Yeah, no,
see
just
it
kidding.
in the opening scene when you realize that you guys were trying to like when you see the children and you hear that you were already intense, but it felt more like a yeah, we're going to do this mission. And then as soon as you saw that they have children and everything else, and you snapped, I feel like from that moment, and then with the situation, don't want to give too much away, but with your daughter and Daniel, you could like see it in your eyes. And I put in my notes watching, I'm like, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, or like like when a mom is upset. And then when it came to the brothers, I'm like, a man's ego will ruin everything every single time. Like it was crazy. And I have to say, so there's a line that you say, am I weak now? And the way you said that, and it hits so hard, especially in the middle of such a chaotic and violent moment. And did that mean did you have like a connection to that moment when you guys were shooting? And what does that say about who Jessica is at her core?
I absolutely connected with it. Um, Phew. I think, wow, what an overwhelming question. But what a beautiful one. Um, I absolutely connected with um, the rage and how it's often really, really silenced. And then there's no place for it as a woman. And let's push it further. I'm a woman of color. So when it came to those moments, I made sure, I made sure that I honored her rage and let it go as far as it needed to, because I want people to see and reframe rage, that thing that we're so scared to look at, especially as women. I really want them to have like a really good look and realize in those moments that usually it is the thing that is our fight. It's just misplaced. Um, and so, yeah, just to speak to that, yes. Am I weak now? That line meant the world to me, because being undermined is exactly what happens in this film. And being undermined by men in this film is a bigger conversation, right? We don't have enough time to tap into that, but you get it. And
Yeah.
so it was definitely something that I think I needed
Yeah.
to really get my teeth into
Mm,
unapologetically.
agreed. Definitely. And I think, yeah, just in terms of from this perspective of Sergey, he's the one person that, like, guys, don't be fucking with this woman. Like, let's just not do this. Like he said it, bruh. Like from spot, it's like this is a bad plan.
And he's burnt to a crisp. Well, I appreciate you guys giving me time today. Everyone, make sure you check the film out in theaters February 13th. This is a great, just honestly, for Black History Month and to be a Black woman and a daughter of a Marine. I loved this
Oh,
movie. So
okay.
thank you guys so much and have a great
Bruh.
Friday. And we'll see you guys soon.
Oh,
Thank you
thank
so
you
much,
so much,
CJ. Lovely to meet
CJ.
you.
Thank you. Lovely